This is the story of a theft that kept one of the world's top investigation agencies restless for 6 years. It wasn't just any theft. It was worth 2.9 billion rupees, $3.5 billion. How did a single phone call bring the thief down? How did he hide such a massive amount in a small Cheetos container? And most surprisingly, why did the rightful owners of the stolen money refuse to claim it even after it was recovered? On September 13, 2019, a man named Jimmy Jong made an emergency call to 911. This was the call that would land him in serious trouble. Jimmy lived in a small town called Athens in the U.S. state of Georgia. He had called the police to report a burglary at his home. When the police officer asked him what had been stolen, he said that $400,000 had been taken. Hearing such a large amount, the officer was quite shocked. Jimmy had installed a high-end security system in his home, and he even had CCTV footage of the burglar entering his house with a covered face. Jimmy Jong was a graduate of the University of Georgia and was known among his friends as the party boy. He would spend up to $500,000, around 1.25 crore rupees, on a single party. If he visited a bar, he would buy drinks for everyone present. Most of his friends stayed around him only because of his money and extravagant lifestyle. Once, to watch his favorite football team's match, Jimmy gathered his friends and took them to Los Angeles on a private jet. In short, he had so much money at such a young age that even he probably couldn't manage it properly. When the police failed to track down the burglar who had stolen from Jimmy's house, he hired a private detective named Martinelli. Given Jimmy's lifestyle and friend circle, Martinelli suspected that one of his own friends was behind the theft. To study the case thoroughly, he started investigating Jimmy's private life, including his social media accounts and bank transactions. Even the private detective was puzzled. Where was all this money coming from? Jimmy told everyone that he was a Bitcoin trader and crypto investor. Given the rising Bitcoin prices over the past few years, most people believed him. Martinelli noted that the burglar in the video footage seemed to know exactly when Jimmy wouldn't be home and when to carry out the theft. This strongly indicated that it was someone close to him. It wasn't the first time Athens police had interacted with Jimmy. A few years ago, he had been caught in possession of cocaine. Since then, he had maintained good relations with the police. In fact, Athens police often used his home's CCTV cameras to assist in solving other cases. However, this time, Jimmy's 911 call had drawn considerable attention to him. Meanwhile, the regional cybercrime unit also learned about the $400,000 theft and Jimmy's claims of being a Bitcoin trader. They began to suspect that Jimmy might have connections to the Silk Road crypto heist. The regional cybercrime unit had been investigating the Silk Road case for 7 years, but had never found a single lead. Silk Road was an online marketplace where all kinds of illegal transactions took place, from weapons deals to drug trades, all conducted using Bitcoin. In 2012, the website was hacked, and someone stole 51,680 Bitcoins from various traders. However, since Silk Road was an illegal dark web marketplace, no one reported the theft. The following year, the owner of Silk Road was arrested, and the FBI shut down the site, seizing all the Bitcoins it found, totaling 170,000. However, the 51,680 Bitcoins stolen in the hack remained missing. The FBI suspected that the Silk Road owner had hidden them elsewhere and was lying about it. Since Bitcoin transactions are transparent, anyone can see them, but the account holder's identity remains anonymous. The regional cybercrime unit suspected that Jimmy Jong might be connected to the missing Silk Road Bitcoins. To confirm this, they needed to find his Bitcoin address. To do this, Athens police and the cybercrime unit devised a plan. Since the police were already investigating the $400,000 theft, they scheduled a meeting with Jimmy. 3 plainclothes officers entered his house wearing body cameras. They made Jimmy believe that they were only there to discuss the burglary. During their conversation, they casually asked about his source of income. Jimmy then gave them a tour of his room, showing them 2 Bitcoin mining machines. A blockchain expert from the cybercrime unit immediately recognized that 2 or 4 mining machines couldn't generate the kind of wealth Jimmy was spending. While distracting him with conversation, one of the officers accessed Jimmy's laptop and copied his Bitcoin address. It was just one of Jimmy's many Bitcoin addresses, but it was enough to establish a link to the Silk Road crypto heist. The cybercrime unit's hunch was correct. This particular Bitcoin address didn't hold much money, but its transaction history connected back to the Silk Road accounts from years ago. This confirmed that Jimmy had some connection to the stolen Silk Road Bitcoins. Now, the officers needed to locate the 51,000 Bitcoins, which they believed were still in Jimmy's possession. They contacted Jimmy again and scheduled another meeting. But this time, they went with a search warrant. When Jimmy realized this, he turned pale. The officers began searching his house, checking every tile to see if he had created a hidden storage space. Finally, they found a Cheetos container with a small towel inside. Seeing a towel inside a snack container seemed suspicious, so they removed it. Beneath the towel, they discovered a small computer chip, Jimmy's Bitcoin hardware wallet. It still contained 51,000 Bitcoins, which in 2020 were worth $3.5 billion. Jimmy Jong had now fallen into a trap of his own making. In an attempt to catch the thief who stole $400,000 from him, he ended up losing 51,000 Bitcoins. Jimmy confessed to the officers that he used to buy drugs from Silk Road. In 2012, while withdrawing his own Bitcoins, he noticed a loophole in the website. Since he already had considerable knowledge of blockchain, he exploited this loophole to withdraw not just his own Bitcoins but also those of other users. By the time he was done, he had stolen 51,680 Bitcoins. At the time, this was worth around $600,000. The owner of Silk Road quickly realized what had happened. However, since he couldn't go to the police, he messaged Jimmy privately, asking how he had discovered the loophole. In exchange for the stolen Bitcoins, Jimmy told him about the security flaw, and the owner forgave him. With the combined efforts of Athens Police, the FBI, and the Regional Cybercrime Unit, the long unsolved case had finally been cracked. In 2023, Jimmy Jong was sentenced to 1 year and 1 day in prison for wire fraud. This is considered the largest Bitcoin heist in U.S. history. Had Jimmy not called 911 that day, he might still have been living freely with his Bitcoins. But that one phone call brought him crashing down from the heights of luxury to the ground. After seizing the 51,000 Bitcoins, the FBI issued a public notice inviting the rightful owners to claim their lost cryptocurrency. Surprisingly, not a single person came forward. This was because coming forward would mean admitting that they had accounts on Silk Road, an illegal marketplace associated with criminal activities. We hope you enjoyed this video from ASTV. Don't forget to like and share. Thanks for your support, and we'll see you in our next exciting video.